John chapter 10, verses 9 and 10, there's some pretty incredible statements of Jesus. He says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, but I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. I love these two verses put together. I usually read chapter 10, verse 10 by itself about the thief in contrast to Jesus, but I love what comes before that. Jesus says, I'm the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. So just a couple of quick things about that. Jesus says he's the door. That means he's our access. He's our access. He says, you enter by me and you go in and out by me. He's our access to God. He is the door, the only access to God. He's going to say it again later in John 14 when he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the only way to God. In John 6, he said, no man comes to the Father except through me. So this is very clear. Jesus is the door. He is our only access to God. But then he says, if anyone enters by me, he will be saved. Oh, that's interesting. So Jesus is our hope. He's our hope. We need to be saved. You would say, from what? Well, the enemy within. And there's an enemy without. The enemy within is our sin. We need to be saved from ourselves and how sinful we are. And Jesus is the only way to be saved. He says, if anyone enters by me, he will be saved from his sin and from the enemy without. He's going to talk about that enemy in verse 10. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come to save you from this enemy. And that's Satan. His name, Satan, means the accuser. And Jesus came to save us from the one who accuses us before God. He's our advocate. Satan is our accuser. And so Jesus came to save us from him. Jesus is the way of salvation. He will be saved. That's a great promise. And then the last thing I see here is that there's true joy. In Jesus is true joy. Woo, windy today. Blowing my hair around like President Trump. Mine's real though, I promise. In Jesus is true joy. He says you'll go in and out and find pasture. You find pasture. Well, pasture is life-sustaining and life-satisfying. Sheep that have plenty to eat, they're happy sheep. And in Jesus is true happiness. I love what Psalm 16 verse 11 says, that in Christ we find the fullness of joy forevermore. That's what true joy is like. It's full and it's forever. And that's only in Jesus. Nowhere else are you going to find that. You buy a new car today, your joy might be full for a little while, but not forever. Probably you buy a car, your joy is not really full. You're always going to find something that you wish it had or you wanted it to have or whatever. And so in Christ we have full joy forevermore. Hope that encourages you today. Jesus is our access. He's the door. We go in and out. We are saved. So he's our hope and he's our joy. We find pasture in him. All right, God bless you today.